Hey there. So soccer got canceled today, which means I didn't have a planned workout for Tech Thursday. So instead, I went for a run over here, right next to my apartment complex. Not right here, that's my living room. That's my dining room. I'm just a little bit out of it. But yeah, so I live right next to a running trail, and I kind of told myself when I moved in that I was going to go. The goal was morning jogs, and it was supposedly going to be daily. But I don't know if you can tell, but I never got into the habit of making these runs. So since soccer got canceled, and I kind of had to come up with something last minute, I went with a jog. I think, judging by the markers, I started in the middle. I think, judging by the markers, I ran about 1.5 miles and walked about a half mile, which is ridiculous because I haven't run in a long time. So that was actually pretty good for me. I think the goal is to get a lot better, and hopefully by playing Frisbee and soccer, I'll get better at running. But for right now, that was enough to take it out of me. So it's Tech Thursday. What do I have planned for today? 5 things video game people hate about video games. So my number 1 things video gamers hate in video games is grinding. So lots of RPGs, pretty much every single RPG has some sort of grinding aspect to it if you want. So what do I mean by that? Well, you can play through the whole game and never level up more than you need to get to each part, and you can play through the game just fine. Or you can spend several hours in one area with the strongest enemies that you can beat, getting as much experience as you can, so then when you go to the next area, you're even stronger than the game is expecting you to be. And it's prevalent in, you can do it in most Final Fantasies. You can just keep fighting enemies until you're leveled up. You can do it in Kingdom Hearts. You can fight a bunch of hordes, or just keep doing levels over and over until you're strong enough to go to the next area. And in Destiny, it even shows up grinding in the form of a cave that you can just shoot forever and get a ton of loot. Second thing video gamers hate is fake storylines. So a lot of people have been complaining about Destiny, and I haven't beat it, so I'm not sure how it ends or anything, so don't spoil that for me. But there's things people point out, like there's this part where there's this guy, he's the speaker, and he knows all this stuff, and he says, I could tell you all these stories, I could tell you about the history of what happened, but, and then he basically just kind of goes on to do other things, so he never tells you. And a lot of people are upset that that's kind of lazy storytelling. You're setting this world up, but you don't tell us anything about it. And so fake storytelling is something that people hate. And I mean, for a game like Destiny, I don't really mind so much personally, because I have a lot of fun running around with players, shooting things, and just having fun chatting and being like, oh, you died, I'm so much better than you, when really I'm not. Third thing all gamers hate is DLC. And that's just kind of become a staple of video games these days, is that they're going to have some sort of after launch day downloadable content. And some companies can do it right. So Nintendo's actually been praised for their Mario Kart DLC, which is, I think it's $12 maybe, and you get like 8 new characters, like 4 new tracks or something, and it's just fun, and it's adding things. Whereas there are plenty of other cases of video games that make you pay for things that should have been included in the game. I think a lot of people would be okay with spending money if it's for extra things, but whenever it's things that should have been in the main game to begin with, I think a lot of people get mad. Number 4 thing that all video gamers hate is people who rage and little kids acting like they're bigger than they are. So what do I mean by that? And why am I grouping those together? Because everybody knows the story of Call of Duty multiplayer, where you hear this little high-pitched voice saying things about what he did last night, or how you suck, and basically insulting you and calling you names and things. And they kind of go together, because there's also that same group of people who, when you start winning or whenever they start losing specifically, they start calling everyone, regardless of whether they're teammates or enemies. Everyone sucks, and they're all of a sudden the king of this game. And these are mainly prevalent in games like League of Legends, where as soon as you mess up, you might miss one of your skill shots, and then all of a sudden this guy's like, "You suck, please uninstall the game," and you're just like, "I'm trying to have fun here." And yeah, I don't think anybody likes those guys, those people who do that, but they keep happening. The fifth thing that all video gamers hate is being told, whether at a game show or other big convention, being told, "This game is coming out soon," multiple years in a row. So, that's the 5 things video gamers hate about video games. I'm sure video gamers hate more than those 5 things. There's lists of things video gamers hate about video games. But those were 5 of the things that I could think of off the top of my head while I was running, and right here whenever I got in front of the camera. Love you all. Hope you all find some way to be physically active this week. If you have some other thing you hate about video games, let me know. And I don't know. Let's talk about things we hate in video games, because it's not like I live for video games or anything.